Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Now, of all the stories you have written in your entire career, which one is the most memorable and why?
The story I've written, I don't know. So I don't know. I
What
don't know whether
the most
whether
memorable?
I just told you about my encounter with Alhaji Aminu Kano. I really like Amen. That was I've told you about Obasanjo. We have interviewed many other people. We interviewed Mama Aisha Awolowo. We interviewed Baba Nishijuade. We interviewed Alhaji Dasuki, the former Sultan. We interview different, unless I check my record, we interview anybody who is anybody in this country. But for me, as a journalist, yes, I think our interview with Baba, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, was quite memorable. But first, you know that, I mean, any journalist, you can't, I'm not saying things may not happen in the future, but for today, no journalist has risen higher than Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. So, myself and my friend, Dele Omotunde, we went to Osuka to come and to go and see him. And when we got there, and then we met him. Then he said, "You mean you came all the way from Lagos to come and see me?" Say, Baba, that's why we came now. He was quite happy. And he said, say, "You are my colleagues." I said, "Baba, you are not your colleagues. You are your level is beyond what
Your level has changed.
We are not your colleagues." I said, "You are my colleagues." I said, he said, "Daddy, I used to read your story very well." I said, "Baba, please." I said, so I think that was a great encounter that we had with Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And for me, very fine old man. I don't know of any fantastic man. Good memory. Capacity to recall. Yes.
Interesting. Now, what makes a good interview?
Let the person who is responding tell the story he thought he would never tell.
That's deep.
If you're able to bring him out, then you have had a good interview.
Interesting.
If you're able to bring him or her out to come and tell the story he thought he would never tell, then that is a good interview.
All right.
And when you are going to that level, you will know yourself.
All right. Now, what mistake must a journalist not make?
Don't deliberately spread falsehood. Don't spread falsehood. You know, we have a platform. Don't use our platform to spread untruth. Unfortunately, now we're in the age of what they call the social media. The social media has the capacity for limitless untruth. They just tell people, they just feel it is good to sell as much fabulous lies. But those who are trained in journalism should know that the truth should remain the strength of our profession. And so when we were trying to start another publication after my retirement from Westerner, I was looking for a name that could mean truth in Nigerian world. That was how we came into to use the word Gaskia, because it means the truth. That is what journalism is about. Journalism is about the truth. We don't need to tell lies about other people. We don't need to blackmail them. Once you tell the truth, it doesn't mean that you cannot criticize them, but you must bring your facts out to come and criticize them. So journalists and journalism should rely on the truth. Let the facts guide our discussion. It will also help our country. It will help our country greatly.
All right. Now, you've been into journalism now for decades. What would you say has kept you going?
Maybe I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying myself. I love writing, and I get paid for it. What else do I want?
Interesting. Now, before you set up Gaskia, the last two places you worked were Newswatch and Tell. What fond memories of your days at those two places would you like to share with us?
Well, I think I've told you about Newswatch. But let me talk about Tell magazine, Abi.
Yes.
I am one of the founders of Tell magazine. And after our adventure in Newswatch, we decided that Nigeria needed another news magazine. And that was how we started Tell. But when we were starting Tell, we never knew that that the military would stay in power. We thought we are starting a magazine that will now be operating under a democratic government. So we suddenly found ourselves on the battlefield to ensure that our country becomes a democratic country. Let me just say soberly that we paid heavily for that price. It's a pity that those who fought for this democracy are not recognized or celebrated by the Nigerian people. But that is one of the accidents of life.
All right. Now, I need you to tell us, the most difficult experience that you had with the security agents, during your time at Tell. I mean, because you people took on the military head on.
How many experience am I going to talk about that?
The most difficult.
The fact is that you don't get yourself caught. That is the more important thing now. I will write about those one little by little, but certainly it was a difficult period. And for us, we have to leave our houses, we have to leave our family and go fully underground. Of course, we cannot operate from our offices. My experience has been that Nigerians are very brave. Nigerians are patriotic. During the period we were fighting Abacha, it would have been impossible without the cooperation of many patriotic Nigerians. Especially when we were moving our offices from one place to another. We never got betrayed by anybody. So we had so many, what we call bush offices, from one place to another. From one place to another. And those were really quite an experience. I'm trying to write a book on those days now.
Yeah.
So that all those things will be listed there.
All right. So what eventually happened to Tell? After some time it now lost steam. What happened ultimately?
I won't be able to answer that question because I retired in 2007.
Okay.
I retired in 2007. So after my retirement, but my colleagues are still managing the place. You may not have the vigor of the past, but they are still managing the place.
All right. Now, legitimately, how can a journalist make money from the profession?
So are they not making money?
I'm asking.
What has happened now? What has happened now is that we as media managers, we must reorganize our business,
Okay.
so that people can make more money than they are making now. Part of the problem is that people are no longer investing in journalism. And if there is lower investment, there will be lower returns. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If there is lower investment, there will be lower returns. So, some years ago, I was asked to come and talk to mass communication students at the University of Lagos. And I told them that there was a man called Bolabo Ogunsanwo, who was an old student of the University of Lagos. And when he was about 32 years of age, he became editor of the Sunday Times. And he was living in the duplex in Surulere. And a very prominent lawyer was living in his boys' quarter. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
He was living in a duplex, editor of the Sunday Times, a whole house. And in his boys' quarter was a very famous lawyer who could not afford to live more than that.
You don't want to tell us the name of the lawyer? You can tell us. I mean, it's the truth. It happened.
Thank you for the advice.
Oh, God. Oh, Baba, these are the things that you people taught us that we should be doing. We should be asking questions.
But I've answered your question now. I said, thank you very much.
Yeah, all right, sir. Go ahead, sir.
So we have not managed investment in journalism well enough, and that has affected the profession, the income, and the expenditure. So I was also talking to some people sometime that when people like Chief Segun Oshoba were reporters in the Daily Times. Daily Times had access. Daily Times reporters can go to the airport and hire aircraft. I'm not saying they will enter plane, no. They will go to the airline and sign, and they will give a note from the editor. Editor says, aero contractor, I want to go to Kano. Can you fly me there now? Hire a plane. It was as prestigious as that at that time. In those days, the chairman of the Daily Times, Alhaji Babatunde Joseph, it was rumored that General Yakubu Gowon was planning to appoint a civilian prime minister, and he may likely appoint Alhaji Babatunde Joseph. Then Babatunde Joseph said, how can anybody leave office of the chairman of Daily Times to go and become permanent prime minister of Nigeria? What is the purpose of that?
Wow.
So, things have rather come low. In those days, you don't see an editor leaving his desk to go and become chief press secretary to anybody in this country. No full editor will leave his desk, editor of Daily Times, to go and become chief president to the president. It wasn't going to happen. So we have not been able to manage investment in the media properly enough. That's why you're asking, how can journalists make money? Once there is a different, I believe things are changing anyway. I can only change for the better.
Interesting. Now, what is the greatest thing that journalism has done for you?
I've told you, I said I love writing, and I get paid for it. So that is a line that I really like.
Okay.
I don't mind it at all. I've
All
had
right.
options to leave journalism, but I prefer the straight and narrow path.
All right. Now, what would you have wanted journalism to do for you that it has not done?
Yes, I would have preferred that, which is something you cannot really control. But I wish General Muritala Mohammed has not intervened in the Daily Times. The Daily Times has been left as it was. Because when you look at other newspapers in Africa at that time that were lower than the Daily Times, that the Al Aram of Egypt, and all the other newspapers, they are still there. But Daily Times was seized by the government, and that affected all of us. In 1982, when I wanted to join the Daily Times, during my NYC in Abeokuta, and we came for interview in the Daily Times. Daily Times was a powerful, rich company. All of us who came for the interview, we were lodged in hotels in Ikeja. Daily Times lodged us in hotels, and they paid us transport fare. So
Wow.
I don't know whether there's any media house that can take like that now.
Wow.
So that's
Interesting.
how much we have lost.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. I'll take a few more questions so that we can round off. Now, what makes a good story?
You have to take the question again.
What makes a good story?
What makes a good story is what makes a good book. First, the story must be accessible. What is the meaning of accessibility? It must be accessible because the reader must know what he is reading about. You are not going to try to intrigue the reader in big English and all those fanciful words. Tell the story, say it straight as it is, and then the reader will be able to read on. So a story must be accessible, and you must answer the 6 questions, the 5W and the H. You must answer the 5W and the H. So if you cannot do that, then you are not really on. So who, when, where, why, how, all those things you have to answer all those questions in that simple story. It's when you do that, to be clear that it will be clear that you have really done well, that the story is good enough.
All right. What makes a good magazine?
A good magazine must, as you have said also, must be beautiful. When you look at it, it must be visually attractive. People must like to look at it. And the text of it is very clear. If you leave it in your office, somebody must be willing to steal it away. If they are not stealing it, then it is not good enough. So,
I like that. I like that. Oh, all right. Now let's round off on this note. I need you to tell us briefly about your new baby, Gaskia. What prompted it? What is it all about? Where are you taking it to?
You know, Gaskia is basically for education. It's to educate young Nigerians about this country. Because young people continue to hear only bad news about their country. And maybe giving them the impression that everything about the country is bad. There is one young man who sang a song and everything in Nigeria is jaga jaga because he has never really traveled outside Nigeria. If you travel by road from Monrovia coming down to Lagos, then you understand the greatness of our country. Or let's say you are traveling from Accra. Immediately you leave Ghana, then you get to Togo, then you get to Benin Republic. By the time you are entering Nigeria, I don't know how, from what they call that place now, not Idiroko. You can see young people right and left, the number of cars, all those things. Then you know that so this is a different country from where you are coming from. So Gasca is to tell the truth about our country, the truth about the past, the truth about the present. So we have interviewed for our cover story. We have interviewed the Ooni of Ife, Kábíyèsí Ọba Adéyẹyè Ògúnwùsì. We have interviewed Chief Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ. We have interviewed Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. We have interviewed Mr. Ray Eku. And that is the magazine aspect. So, and we have done stories about the past. We did a story on the General Aguiyi and his generation, things people have never heard about. We did a story on the day Awolowo was released from prison. So we try to bring aspect of our history so that younger people can understand that this is a great country. It is not a jaga country. It's not.
I like that. I like that. Now, before I let you go, sir, what is your take on the coming of the social media? What is your take on social media, especially as it concerns our profession?
Yeah, it is very exciting. It's very good to be living at this period so that we can also enjoy this idea of social media. It is more social than media. It is more social than media. You can see that young people love to use it for their social needs, whereas we need to also emphasize that it should be a medium for education, not just for frivolities. And it is driving away our youth from education. So what should be an instrument of education has become an instrument for disempowerment. Because when you don't have knowledge, you are disempowered. So our young people are not using it to empower themselves, to give themselves knowledge. Instead, they are allowing social media to take away their knowledge. They are more interested in frivolities. They are not interested in their country. They don't know anything about the geography. They don't know. If you ask a student now who is attending university, what's the name of your vice chancellor? He may not know. That was unthinkable in our day that you don't know the name of your VC. I've asked a student, his university was named after a prominent leader in this country. Do you know why your school was named, given that name? She said she doesn't know, but she believed that maybe the man was a rich man who founded the school. I said, but so we are being overwhelmed by the epidemic of ignorance, and this epidemic is being strengthened, unfortunately, by the social media. And compared to what is happening in other parts of the world, in India, in China, Japan, people are reading more, but Africans are not reading more. Whereas the future belongs to those who have knowledge, not those who can just take pictures on social media.
Instagram. Yes. All right, sir. So it's on that note that I'd like to bring this session to a close. Thank you so much, Mr. Darren Babarinsa. You know, you have enriched my knowledge. You have made my day. You have equipped me with additional knowledge and information. I'm so grateful. Thanks so much for your time, for your thoughts, and waiting. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate this.
Thank you, sir.
To go from strength to strength.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you.